What's up? Welcome back to my channel, or for the first time if you're new, I'm Sylvan, and today I'm going to be reacting to Honkai Star Rail's 3.5 special program, Before Their Deaths. I'm very excited for this. I'm incredibly interested in finding out what the hell is going to happen next, seeing as last time was a real pleasant surprise. A lot of crazy stuff was happening, and I'm just curious to see where we go from here. So feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, consider becoming a channel member if you want to support me just that little bit extra, and let's get into this. Once again sponsored by Lady Aglaia, okay, even after death. Straight to the trailer, as usual. Outside view of Amp, whoa! Ooh! What? Oops! Is that supposed to be March or something? All the heroes. Of course he's posing. Ooh, the back-to-back. Ooh. Hello, Icelands and Serdra. Yo, Don Hong. That has to be March or some shit. Ooh, all the core flames. Cyrene, of course. Ooh. A puzzle piece? Ooh. Yeah, that's a new design. Ooh. Both Don Hung and March are having new designs? Ooh, they all come into a ball for us? Ooh! What the fuck is going on? I love it. Is that Iron Tomb? Ooh! One hell of a trailer, okay. No words, just visuals. Sorta love it. Hello, Albert.
Has a day-night cycle. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is the
Honkai Star and Serdra. Okay.
3.5 special program. I'm your host, Albert. Our three guests today are all renowned figures. So let's give them a warm welcome.
No need for formalities, dear subjects.
Oh boy.
The masses have given me many titles, but here, feel free to call me by my name, Saridra.
Saridra, that's how they pronounce it. Okay.
No need for further introductions.
Greetings, dear viewers. I am Screwlum. It's a pleasure to meet you all again.
Once again, a warm welcome to you all. Ooh, oh, Albert is so honored. Not only do we have the peerless gem, unrivaled genius, and inimitable beauty on our show, we've also got a genius symbolizing mechanical aesthetics, humanistic charm, and elegant precision.
Uh-huh.
Even Her Imperial Majesty has graced us with her presence.
If you keep going on like this, Dux Blabbator,
Oh my god.
the audience is going to walk out.
Dux Blabbator! Your Imperial Majesty, if I may be so bold, letting the audience know about our important guests is crucial. This is not idle chatter.
Something tells me this is, though.
Point, okay?
Since this is what our guests unanimously requested, as we enter version 3.5, the second half of
the second half,
story
yeah.
will officially begin.
We're only
we'll
halfway.
meet brand new companions and witness familiar friends in a completely new light.
That is insane.
Indeed. Besides the already known Chrysos heirs, we also caught glimpses of Lady Saridra and Lady Hycelens in that trailer.
Yes, among other things.
Miss March 7th and Mr. Don Hung
Yep.
have also undergone quite significant changes.
And that one with pink hair, she looks a lot like that girl named Cyrene.
What?
Was that
Really?
her new form?
I never noticed.
I'll keep that under wraps for now.
Of course.
But what I can tell you is that this renewed journey is about to ascend to a higher dimension.
If the new Don Hung and March are next version,
a battle of
God damn it.
that will determine
How do
the
I
safety
manage
of the
this?
Cosmos has begun. In version 3.4 story, the Trailblazer made a promise with Finan and took up the mantle of Deliverer.
We are the Deliverer now.
Finan went to confront Nanook with the most blazing fury.
We now know that Amphorius was a testing ground for the Lord Ravager Iron Tomb to self-extrapolate and grow, while Finan and Cyrene accumulated power through 30 million eternal recurrences
which is insane.
To delay the moment of Iron Tomb's true completion.
Yeah.
Even though human strength remains insignificant before the eons, human will shall never be mere
indomitable
pawns
human
for the
spirit
gods to manipulate at their whim. The fury of 400 million core flames for the destruction as brilliant as a solar flare. Finan's efforts have once again interrupted the progress of Iron Tomb.
Even if he got subsumed by it in the process.
We'll discover that even the spread of the black tide has been halted.
Whoa.
Oh, so that too was the work of the Deliverer.
Okay.
Finan. I'll remember that name.
But back to the matter at hand.
Interesting.
The weight of the world rests on that little one's shoulders, and saving Amphorius remains an unavoidable conundrum.
Fair.
Before saving the world, there's one more preparation we need to make. The Scepter has an extremely strict autonomous protocol, restricting even its administrator.
True.
According to my and Madame Herta's speculation, this ultimate protocol goes by another name in Amphorius. The Law Titan, Talantan.
Exactly! So if we can master the authority of law before the Era Nova's complete,
yeah, that makes sense.
Find a new breakthrough and turn the tables in our favor.
According to Amphorian history, the core flame of law was returned a millennium ago. The Trailblazer's mission is therefore clear.
Having returned to the beginning.
The core flame's return, travel back to the past and claim the core flame.
Interesting.
In version 3.5's Trailblaze mission, the Trailblazer will journey alongside Cyrene to Akima from 1,000 years ago.
Okay.
A new cycle of the eternal recurrence.
Cool.
That was also the era when Aglaya's predecessors still held power. The bearer of the law core flame and Empress of Akima, the Imperator Saridra.
So we're gonna need to convince her to hand over her core flame.
What makes you so sure I would cooperate with the Trailblazer without any reservations?
I wouldn't say they're targeting you.
Finan couldn't even get an audience initially.
Surely understands that the Trailblazer is working towards a brighter future for
Or Kaslana.
In version 3.5, the Trailblazer will not only meet the Knight Commander Hysealan
Knight Commander, okay.
while revisiting the past, but they'll also encounter Treeby and Aglaya from a millennium ago.
They're back!
We hope you're looking forward to this first meeting and reunion.
Interesting.
I believe
curious to see how that goes.
Will win everyone's trust with their sincerity, as always.
Yeah, fair.
Moreover, in version 3.5,
Ooh.
we'll get to see another side of Styxia as the city of infinite
Yeah, I was
revelry.
wondering if we were going to see Styxia.
In the coastal city-state, encircled by rainbows and ocean currents, the festivities never cease.
Very different from what we saw.
Filled honey brews while music flows without pause through every hour of the day.
But those residents in the city don't look too friendly, do they? Better watch out.
Don't be so quick to celebrate. And don't think you can just brush this off. This involves the core flame of law. Do you really think it'll be that easy?
Indeed. Since it concerns the ultimate protocol. That old Intellitron will definitely pay extra attention. He's very likely to step in and personally intervene.
Almost certainly at this point.
That is no longer just a possibility. The Theoros Ligus has recently arrived at the Holy City and already sought an audience with me.
All right,
As for what
he's
said,
moving.
It was interesting, to say the least.
Okay.
Going from an observer to an interventionist is quite the unusual shift.
Yes, but he's in the endgame now.
His plans have been seriously impacted and need urgent revision. It also means the Trailblazer will face even tougher challenges ahead.
Finan has changed the game in a lot of ways.
If he's just a regular administrator, this level of dedication is way over the top.
He reveres the
Who
destruction.
Could this old Intellitron really be?
Maybe Ligus's true identity and motives will surface as we continue to clash with him.
Okay, there's more to him.
Even when facing higher dimensional opponents, we have reliable allies who can lend us a hand.
Yeah.
In version 3.5, both the geniuses Herta and Skrullum will become more deeply involved.
Makes sense. They've been stepping further in every version.
Stronger. To add another layer of assurance to our journey, Albert here has gathered some intel about Lygus to share with everyone.
Okay.
During combat,
Oh,
Lygus
an
will
actual
switch
boss
between
fight.
2 different forms.
The different
In his first
face,
form,
yeah.
He can generate Titankin for combat, while
Interesting.
also applying special effects to our allied characters.
Okay.
Characters affected by this special effect will have their ultimates activated, but using an ultimate during this effect will cost massive HP.
Weird.
When the total number of allies and enemies that appear on the field reaches a certain amount, Lygus will enter his second form.
4 arms,
In this
okay.
second form, black tide creatures will continuously spawn.
He's beginning
and
to look
Lygus
very
will modify
evocative
these
of
monsters'
Iron
parameters to
Tube.
greatly increase their threat level. During this phase, he will continuously enhance his ultimate as time passes.
Huh.
When using the ultimate, Lygus will deal massive distributed damage to all allies.
Whoa.
Oh?
The
Is
3
there
eyes,
any
okay.
key information to help solve this puzzle?
Of course! If you can make a certain number of allies and enemies leave the field during his second form, it'll accelerate Lygus to switch back to his first form, reducing
Interesting.
the threat of his ultimate.
So just killing
Logic.
quickly
We need to
or
quickly eliminate black
fine
tide
on
creatures
making
to
only
reduce
one
the
person
threat
on the
and
field.
improve our chances of victory.
Though it's still unclear why we must directly confront the Theoros, knowing your enemy is half the battle.
Yep.
Dux Avis Snoopius, your intel work
What are
is
with these
impressive.
names?
Oh, thank you for your praise, Your Imperial Majesty. All right, let's take a short break for now.
Okay.
When we come
All
back,
right.
I've got more intel about our 2 Chrysos heirs seniors.
Sounds good. All right, let's see what Hyselins and Ceridra have in store. I really like both of their vibes, so I'm curious to see what their gameplay looks like. I very much appreciate the dual wielding. Ooh, and it being sort of puppeted as a violin. Ooh, that is a fun touch. Big ol' whale, nice.
Hey! Why is the studio leaking?
Uh-oh.
Dux Plumpus, if this is your idea of entertainment, it's pretty underwhelming.
Dramatic, I got this. Hey!
Thank you,
God.
Mr. Albert, for your quick thinking.
Finally back to normal. Hey, director! This
Physical
studio needs
nihility,
fixing.
okay.
What kind of waterproofing is this? Sorry for the embarrassing display, folks. Tight budget here, so please bear with us.
Oh, no.
All right, go find Dux Goldweaver and have her allocate some repair funds.
Thank you for your gracious gift,
Don't-
Your
Bubbles.
Imperial Majesty.
What are you doing here?
Come to think of it, this Hyselins looks quite different from regular humans. She's got scales, and her belly seems to be
Yeah.
transparent.
One of the first things I
That's
noticed
right.
about her when we met her.
Hyselins is the most powerful and beautiful sea siren princess born
Oh.
to Fagusa, the ocean titan.
Okay.
She grew up in the embrace of the ocean.
Interesting.
I see, but why did this beautiful sea siren come ashore? And how did she end up becoming the Knight Commander of the Holy City?
Good question.
Although the black tide hasn't spread in this cycle, it still surges in the darkest bowels of the world.
Fair.
In other words,
The ocean. Yep.
Fagusa promised the sea sirens that after repelling the black tide, they would throw them an endless feast on land. But in the end, Fagusa fell into silence, and the sea sirens were decimated in the war, leaving Hyselins as the sole survivor.
Uh-huh.
When I first
The
met
first
her,
victims.
Hyselins was in a complete daze. Her power could scatter armies, yet
Jesus.
she no longer knew whom her blades served.
A tragic past. Sounds like prime protagonist material for a novel.
Oh my god,
And
Herda.
then what happened?
Since that is the case, I will point the way. If she yearns for revelry, I will see it done.
Okay.
All I ask is for her unwavering loyalty, to stand as my sword and banner, and mine alone.
Yeah, makes
I
sense.
see. So Lady Ceridra became Lady Hyselins' light.
But can she adapt to life on land as a sea siren?
She did struggle a bit at first, but now she's got the hang of it.
Okay.
She also gained the friendship of my other loyal subjects,
Oh?
such as the previously mentioned Dux Goldweaver. Aglaya.
Makes sense.
But rumor has it that High Ceilings has never been seen together with little Cypher.
Uh-huh.
They say she deliberately avoids any occasions where Dolus's little kitty is present.
Of course.
It's only natural for a fish.
Yeah.
To avoid a cat.
Yeah, makes sense.
Now then, let's see how Miss High Ceilings performs in combat.
Yeah, I'm curious for the
As my
details.
sword and banner, she fears no combat. When she uses her basic attack, skill, or ultimate in combat, there's a chance to inflict random types of DOT debuffs on enemies.
Okay, yeah, nihility.
It seems Lady High Ceilings is a perfect match for characters who specialize in DOT effects.
They're just spelling it out.
That's
Yeah,
right.
okay.
When using her skill, High Ceilings increases damage taken by all enemies and
Oh.
deals damage.
Nice.
When using her ultimate, High Ceilings creates a zone on the field and deals damage to all enemies.
Okay, what zone?
Sunlight pours into the shimmering sea, where graceful fish dance in the water. Such is the breathtaking beauty befitting of a sea siren princess.
That's my most beautiful sword. But for enemies, such beauty means deadly danger.
Uh-huh.
Enemies in the zone will have reduced defense and
Okay.
take additional physical DOT from High Ceilings whenever they take DOT damage.
Okay.
Nothing beats the thrill of a new turn and a
Directly
scream full of
synergizing
numbers
with
flying off
just
the
other
enemy.
dot characters.
Plus, this zone is perfect for the buff Kafka.
Yep.
After all, Kafka's frequency of dealing DOT damage is super frequent now.
Oh.
After using the technique, High Ceilings summons a special dimension
I'm really
that
liking
automatically
these,
moves
like,
forward.
fish enemies.
Enemies within this
Very sort of
dimension
manta
will
ray-like.
not initiate attacks. When High
Okay.
Ceilings actively attacks affected enemies to enter combat, her talent's effect will trigger multiple times,
Oh.
randomly applying DOT debuffs to the enemies.
I just noticed, is
All right.
Miss High Ceilings actually attacking with a violin bow?
Let the
At the very
enemy
least, she's
slumber within
pretending
the
it is.
symphony. For the waves stirred by the Dux Gladiorum's melody are as graceful as they are deadly.
Okay.
Thank you for the introduction.
Seems like a cool character.
Let's
Really
get to
like the
know her
vibe.
better.
I
The great
literally have
rule
never
reigns
invested in
over
Dot, so I'm
age.
probably not pulling for her.
Ridra.
So Ridro is the one I'm curious about. Okay, going full in on the chess aesthetic. Pawn becoming a queen? Ooh. I assume that's her ultimate?
Ridra, the
Yeah,
Greek
wind
Imperator,
harmony,
supreme
okay.
commander of the holy city, initiator of the first flame chase journey, bearer of Law's core flame, and the key figure in the plan to seize Amphoris'
Yeah.
administrative privileges.
She holds the core
Though
flame
I am
or the means to get it.
absolutely a monarch, I need no songs of praise. Sweet words are but the daggers of cowards.
Interesting,
If
okay.
you're so eager to play the jester, why not just shut your beak and be the
Oh my
Imperator's
God.
pawn instead?
Oh no. Poor Albert.
Your way of doing things is quite intimidating.
Yeah,
I wonder,
fair.
what do people usually say about you?
Ambitious and ruthlessly cruel.
The
Interesting.
Imperator never fears controversy, nor would she act for the sake of praise.
Huh.
I studied chess since childhood. On the board, only one rule matters.
Okay.
Win. I will stop at
Very much sort of
nothing
a
and pay any
wartime
price to
leader.
achieve my goals.
Okay.
Oh, what exactly do you mean by any price?
It means I won't hesitate, even if victory costs me my king piece. The only
Okay.
thing I want is that sweet checkmate at the end game.
I'll ignore that doesn't make sense in
I
chess,
read
but
that
I get the
Aglaya was being
idea.
trained as the Imperator's successor. That kind of pressure must be immense.
Such pressure is nothing for the Imperator's successor.
Uh-huh.
That girl's tenacity is second to none.
Yeah, okay.
Looks like convincing the Imperator to cooperate will be quite a challenge for the Trailblazer.
Fair.
Could Mr. Albert share some more information to help improve the Trailblazer's chances?
Albert, do have some juicy stories about the monarch.
Oh, do tell.
For instance, although she was known as the first and last monarch of Akama, she actually came from a city-state that worshipped Talantin.
Okay.
Born in
Not
a foreign
originally
land,
from
yet
Akama.
ruling over Akama.
Let me see what
Very
records we have
interesting.
here. During the first siege of Akama, the city was breached and faced a devastating crisis.
Did she conquer Akama?
At that time, it was Saridra who led her army to ensure Akama's safety,
Oh.
sparing the citizens from the ravages of war.
Interesting.
Since then, she's been revered as its sovereign ruler,
Huh.
governing over the holy city.
That's right. Saridra yearns to build Amphorius into a powerful, unified empire that will last for countless generations.
And it
That's why
does.
She decided to embark on the flame chase. When dealing with her, the Trailblazer might want to approach the conversation by discussing the future of Amphorius.
Fair.
And how would this monarch handle herself when facing enemies?
That's what I want to see.
Enlighten us, Your Imperial Majesty.
I certainly can. As I mentioned before, I've studied chess since childhood.
Okay,
and the
on a team with
extrapolation
Finon.
of chess positions is my way of waging war. My skill can grant special buffs to one designated ally character.
All right, perfect for
When the
Finon.
buffed character uses their basic attack or skill, they'll help me accumulate charge to level up this special buff.
Oh.
After leveling up, the special buff allows the character to
Ah,
duplicate
pawn
their
to
skill
queen.
once when using it against enemies.
Ooh.
So the same skill can hit twice.
That
That's
is
Besides
quite
normal
nice.
skills, some special enhanced skills can also be duplicated.
Oh,
Take a
boy.
look. Finance enhanced skill, which requires accumulating 4
Oh.
stacks of skirts, can be used twice.
Oh,
In other
boy.
words, when paired with Professor Anaxagoras, both his skill and extra skill can trigger again.
Jesus Christ.
Right to the soul.
Oh,
When
no.
I use my ultimate, I'll build up charge and deal damage to all enemies.
Okay.
Now that's battlefield control. It's true that everything is like a game
That's
of chess.
nice.
All about planning and strategy.
Also, when I use my technique, the character who triggers combat will receive the special buff at the
nice.
start of the next battle.
Okay.
Keep this in mind when planning your battle strategy.
Pretty straightforward, but works quite well.
Far-sighted commander leading our battles.
I
Who wouldn't want to serve
might
under
need to
her
pull for her.
Majesty the Empress.
Naturally, mediocrity
Need to see
has
more of her
no
character, though.
place on the throne. The one who shall lead all of Amphorius can only be, and must be, me.
Uh-huh.
However, after experiencing Surija's story in version 3.5, you might discover that there's more than meets the eye.
What?
behind this
Really?
Imperator.
Crazy.
Stay tuned. Now let's take a look at the version 3.5 banner.
Yeah, I'm curious to see who the banners are.
3.5's first half warp event.
Iceland's first,
Trailblazers
okay.
can acquire the limited 5-star character High Ceilings, limited 5-star light cone. Why does the ocean sing? We'll have a boosted drop rate. In the first half,
And
the limited
Kafka.
5-star
Makes sense.
character, Kafka is returning, and at the same time,
Literally
the
built
limited
for her.
5-star light cone, patience is all you need, will become available once again.
Nice.
Version 3.5 second half warp event. Trailblazers
Who
can acquire the limited
is with
5-star
Saridra, though?
character Saridra.
Or Saridra.
The limited 5-star light cone, epoch etched in golden blood, will have
wouldn't be
a
fine
boosted
on.
drop rate. In the second half, the limited
Silver Wolf?
5-star character
Okay.
Silver Wolf is returning.
All right.
While at the same time, the limited 5-star light
Seems a little
cone
arbitrary, but I'm fine with that.
will become available once again.
Hmm.
All right, let's take a quick break.
I guess giving the opportunity to get her now that she's been buffed. Oh? What's this?
Flight calendar 3950. Sarija returns triumphant from vanquishing the Black Tide.
Okay.
Victory belongs.
She's
to
sitting on a
every
stack of
citizen.
books.
And even more reassuring than the mighty Dromus is the figure of the Emperor.
Mom, why does the Imperator
Yeah.
on a book?
Not gonna explain it.
Flight calendar 3959. The Imperator shall crown her great new endeavor in her name.
Okay.
A library or a city-state? The answer will soon be revealed.
This will be the greatest salad ever.
What?
Let's add some fish, too.
Oh my
As
god.
you command.
There feels something cruel about making... Iceland's
People often say that the Flame Chase
eat
Army's
fish.
undefeated record was thanks to the Imperator's strategies. One afternoon on light calendar 3960, we were fortunate enough to witness.
Checkmate.
Why can your chess pieces fly?
Behold my new Dromus Legion. How do you like them, my dear subject?
Very goofy.
Welcome back! Now that we're halfway through the feast, it's time
Why does
to
Albert
grab
have a
some
monocle?
food and fill those bellies. In version 3.5,
Ooh.
the Chrysos Maze Grand Restaurant will make its debut.
Okay.
Trailblazers will team up with Chrysos heirs to run a restaurant in ID's Elysia.
Yeah, I guess we will be in ID's
Running a
Elysia.
restaurant with the Chrysos heirs?
All
That
of the
sounds
mems
familiar.
will be available to
Where
talk
have
to.
I seen that before?
Weren't we supposed to save the world? What's all this about opening a restaurant?
Listen, it's important.
Actually, it's a story that Cyrene told
Oh,
us.
okay.
Oh?
Even though it's just a story, it holds infinite possibilities.
Fair.
And will create many beautiful memories.
In many ways, Amphorius itself is just a story.
I'll tell you all about it. First, this restaurant's customers are quite special. Our purpose in opening this place is to serve delicious food to the little fairies from the
Yep.
Remembrance Maze and bring a new lease of life to this abandoned restaurant.
Okay.
In the restaurant, the Trailblazer needs to take on the
Ooh.
role of restaurant manager, run the
All
establishment,
right.
and win the approval of fairy customers. Also participate in the regular Remembrance Maze food review. Earn stars step
Finon
by step.
is here?
And ultimately become a four-star
Okay.
Memshalem restaurant.
Memshalem.
Then what's the style of
Really?
this restaurant? And what dishes do they serve?
Salutations, dear guests! We specialize in authentic ID's Lysiae haute cuisine.
What the fuck?
Look at our menu, carefully curated by our nature-born chef from ID's Lysiae, which only uses local organic ingredients. Today's special is our fresh lettuce salad, made with all natural organic greens and paired with our signature dressing for a crisp, refreshing taste and a smooth, lingering finish.
Okay.
Our chef who prepared and mixed the salad right at your table, offering you the full ceremonial experience.
Salad? Oh, looks good. What else have you got?
We also have the colorful salad.
Is it all just salad?
And the setty salad.
Wait a minute. Why is everything salad?
Well, one reason is that Mr. Finan, one of our head chefs, specializes in
He
salad.
does?
And the other reason is the restaurant is still in its early stages. So
Okay, okay.
we're a bit limited on ingredients. and
What?
supplies.
Okay, I guess if this is a story,
However,
the people who are
as
there
your
doesn't
management
matter.
level increases, the Trailblazer can unlock more menu items, expand the shop size, and recruit more members.
Okay.
And to meet the customers' demands, the Trailblazer
We're
will
growing
need to
our own
work
food?
with everyone to grow various ingredients besides running the restaurant.
All right.
Now, our two agricultural experts, Anax and Hyacinth, and the helpful field fairies will join forces to guide the Trailblazer through the planning process.
Seems like a pretty solid
It
event.
looks like we won't have to worry about ingredients with Anaxa and Hyacinth around.
Leave it to the professionals. One dare say it finally bears the semblance of a contender for 4 Memshalem stars.
That is
Of
ridiculous.
course, having ingredients alone isn't enough. As a restaurant manager, the Trailblazer needs to consider many other aspects. For example, the ingredients you grow should match the restaurant's current recommended dishes to maximize operating profits.
Makes sense.
Leveling up dishes can enhance quality and increase the average spend per customer. Proper staffing in both the kitchen and dining area is
I'm honestly
essential
surprised
to
we
reduce
haven't had an
customer wait
event quite
times
like
and
this. We've had
increase
similar
table
stuff
turnover
throughout the
rates.
games, but
Purchasing specific facilities can also boost the restaurant's
Nothing
reputation
quite like
and
this.
attract more customers. Plus, different fairy customers have different personalities and unique dining preferences.
uh-huh.
Some fairy customers prefer set meals, while others are competitive eaters doing food reviews who tend to eat a lot more. And some fairy customers try to sneak away without paying.
Oh?
All
Trying
right.
to dine
Okay.
and
Seems
dash.
fairly involved. A lot going on.
Someone's about to face the judgment of the law.
Oh boy.
While running the
Getting
business,
serious.
you'll often face unexpected situations that need the Trailblazer's decision-making skills. Running a restaurant isn't exactly a walk in the park.
Yeah, fair.
As for what rules the other
Ooh.
Chrysos
Free light cone, okay. A Harmony one.
You'll have to discover that for yourself in the game, Trailblazer.
Curious to see what it does.
After a hearty meal, it's time to get some drinks.
Ooh, another
In the event
drink
old
event?
brews and new friends, the Trailblazer will once again show off their skills as a special guest drinksmith at the Dream Jolt
Cool.
Hostelry.
I enjoyed that event.
Master Drinksmith of Penacony? This little one sure is a jack of all trades. Are you going to mix drinks for our monster friends again this time?
Nope. This time,
Herda plus Herda.
will be dropping by the lounge.
Okay.
Each friend carries their own little worries, and the Trailblazer can whip up a magical drink to lift their mood.
All right, seems
Delicious
pretty similar
and
to how it was
feeling
before.
all in one.
Oh? Which friends will be making an appearance?
Herda.
Like Dr. Ratio,
Dr.
who came
Ratio.
to Penacony to enlighten the masses? Or Director Topaz, who's exhausted from dealing with Penacony's equity transfer? Or maybe that
Of course.
lovely lady from the Stellar Hunters might pay us a visit.
It's been a while since we've actually talked to
I
Kafka. It's
see.
mostly been the other
What if
Stellaron
the
hunters.
Trailblazer messes up and can't mix the right drink?
No big deal. And hey, if you stumble upon a secret recipe, you might just see a whole new side of your friends.
Judging by the Trailblazer's nature, they'll probably have an accidental slip-up.
Fair.
After serving all the guests, the Trailblazer can invite them back for one more special
Ooh.
surprise drink.
All
May
right.
this special mixed recipe create unique and unforgettable memories tonight for the Trailblazer and their unexpected guests. That's not all for 3.5, is it, Madam?
Okay,
Herda?
another task force thing.
That's not all. In version 3.5, I will launch the AI Herda experiment.
AI Herda?
I digitized portions of my memory and
Oh,
knowledge
no.
into data, uploaded them to the space station's encrypted server,
More
and created
Herdas.
a digital version of myself. In the space station
Yeah.
task force event, Trailblazers need to train the AI Herda
Essentially
by
one step
completing
away
different
from a login
assignments to
event.
obtain assignment rewards.
Not that I'm complaining.
Training an AI Herda? Hello, Chat Herda.
Oh my god.
Oh, don't even bother. Chat Herda has rejected your query, citing insufficient complexity.
Hey, wait a sec. I haven't even asked anything yet.
Chat Herda's already trained on your behavioral patterns. It's just making predictions.
All right. As we wrap up this feast, I've got some after-dinner treats for everyone.
Oh?
First up, our
As
old
usual,
friend, the
Gift of Odyssey. Always appreciate it.
Yay! The Planar Fissure and Garden of Plenty events will also return.
As usual,
Complete
good to
the
see.
challenges to earn double rewards.
Shape of Siren Stagnant Shadow
Makes
will
sense.
also be available.
Makes sense to have
And
more
you can
Ascension
obtain
materials.
The Ascension materials see Siren's Torn Fin for ice characters upon completing the challenge.
Okay, for ice
Additionally,
characters.
In version 3.5, the feature mentioned in the previous official notice that allows individual voiceover switching
Ah.
to collaboration characters will be launched.
Nice.
Trailblazers
They don't have to be
will
silent.
able to switch interaction, combat, and idle voices from the current voiceover to the original licensed audio.
That's good.
In other words, you can switch Saber and Archer's interaction and combat voice lines to Japanese while keeping all other characters unchanged.
Much appreciated.
Nice.
Finally, Honkai Star Rare will also be joining this year's Gamescom.
Okay.
From August 20th to August 24th this year, Honkai Star Rare will greet everyone with a brand new boot style.
Oh?
Trailblazers, come visit us and get your free goodies.
Uh-huh.
Stay tuned to our official social media channels for more details. All right. And with
All right,
that,
that's that.
it's time
Okay.
for us to bid farewell to this feast. Thanks to all our special guests for being with us. See you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye,
See you next
everybody.
time.
Okay, cool. Okay, so looking at this version, it very much feels like it is sort of maintaining the status quo. And what I mean by that is we're following the same pattern as the last few versions. The majority of the focus is on the story and the two new characters. That is where all of the energy and attention is going to give us these big, highly developed, crazy storylines and like animations and stuff to go with them. We didn't get any implications of getting any animations this version, but nonetheless, they clearly are putting a lot of focus into the story and less so into events. I have personally held off on complaining about limited amount of events for the past several versions, because I personally have been of the mind that if it's just for like a version or two, it's okay if we're a little lighter on events and we just focus on the story. Besides, for someone like me playing all the games all at once, it sometimes is a nice breather. But I also will admit, this is essentially the second or third or whatever version, with the exception of last version being more dense because of the crossover stuff with Fate. This is another version that has one big event, one small event, and one tiny minuscule event, and then the usual stuff. So, though I'm not really complaining about that, I am recognizing that it is not just a coincidence that that was happening, it is repeating, and I can understand why plenty of people would be upset about that. Personally though, where my interest and attention is where they're putting their effort, being the story anyways, so I'm appreciative of the fact that they are doing so much with that. Something that I find interesting though, is that they clearly are hiding a lot about this version story. Usually from a version trailer, we can piece together a lot of what is going to happen or what is going on, even if there are big surprises and reveals nonetheless. Where from this one, there is literally no words spoken. It is just hype stuff happening. And I'll go through that in a moment to see what we can gather off of it. But they absolutely are keeping things a little bit closer to the chest. The main things we get revealed in the special program are that we are going to actually be fighting Lygus properly, and by extension of that, he is going to be more directly getting involved, no longer being just an observer, and that the sort of MacGuffin, the linchpin of the plot in this version is the core flame of law, having some tie to the administrator controls of Amphorius, basically. And obviously, Ceredra, being the demigod of law, is the one who we have to convince to hand over her core flame. But how exactly that occurs is something we will see. We get very little detail of how that will happen, just that she's had a meeting with Lygus, and that she considers what he said to her interesting, and that we need to seek an audience with her and convince her. Realistically, if I were to guess, a good chunk of this version story will be that competitive attempt to convince her. Presumably Lygus is either trying to get his hands on the core flame himself or just impede us getting it, and so it will likely end up in this position of the two forces of Lygus and us trying to convince Ceredra what to do, and presumably, given the nature of the story, she'll eventually side with us, probably, at which point Lygus will escalate his attempts to stop us, we'll fight, whatever else happens, happens. Beyond that, I have no idea, but I'd like to touch on a few key visual details. I don't like to look too closely at the big bosses before we actually get them, because usually that's a bit more spoilery, but one thing I will just sort of emphasize again is something that I mentioned in the reaction itself. Looking at Lygus's second form, it is very evocative in many ways of the implied appearance of Iron Tomb we've gotten, being this one. It's not identical, obviously. I don't think they're trying to imply that Lygus is Iron Tomb. That just sort of contradicts a few too many things. But I do find it interesting that he has this similar vibe of the four arms with the glowing red moat. In the case of Iron Tomb here, it's much more where like a head would be rather than in the chest. But nonetheless, looking at him, there is something vaguely evocative of that in his design, which I just find cool. But now let's touch on the trailer itself. Obviously, because there isn't any dialogue or narration or anything, this is not going to be a super dense analysis of this, but I do have some things I want to point out and discuss. We get this person, this figure, who, if I am guessing correctly, is supposed to be March 7th, which is incredibly intriguing. What exactly happened to her? I suppose we'll find out, but that is a big question mark currently. Last we saw her, she stepped through the gate to Amphorius because she needed to get to us, despite Cyrene's concerns. And now she has taken on this uniquely different appearance. Red eyes, darker colors, all blacks and reds, and she's seemingly in space about to eat Amphorius itself. Has she become something more dangerous? A kind of thing where we'll have to rescue her from herself? I'm not entirely sure, but this absolutely is speaking to March having so much more importance, so much more danger to her almost. So much more power. I'm very excited to find out what that looks like. Because also, another detail about it, we see her actually eat Amphorius, seemingly, and then turn to the screen with a wild eye, and then as we get the Star Rail logo, it is also that black-red moat with the silhouette of Iron Tomb behind it, perhaps implying that if whatever March has become is able to properly consume Amphorius, whatever that means, that it will complete Iron Tomb, though perhaps not the original goal of Lygus. Perhaps by March stepping into Amphorius, she has enabled Iron Tomb's completion through other means. I'm not entirely sure, but I can't help but recognize this immediate transition of Amphorius is consumed by this figure who looks like a different version of March, and then Iron Tomb appears. But then we continue to show the Chrysos heirs. Interestingly enough, when we're shown Aglaia, it is her tied up in her own threads, with all of the garment makers wielding their blades at her. To me, it implies something self-destructive or self-retributive, or in some way she is trapping herself within her own power. It's interesting. I'm not entirely sure what specifically to take out of it, but it's also interesting that despite this, she is looking up towards Kefali, who we can just sort of faintly see here. And then after seeing the other Chrysos heirs, we get to Phynon, who I really enjoy the visual we have here. It's not just Phynon, it is also the Flame Reaver. The World Bearer, the original deliverer before us, is not one of these two, it is both. It is Kaslana. The Flame Reaver is Phynon, Phynon is the Flame Reaver, both of them are Kaslana. And we see this as it immediately transitions to his Ravager form. And we also see his Ravager form burn away, evocative of the animation. After reaching and scratching Nanook, he burns away into nothingness, subsumed into Iron Tomb. And then we see Lygus in his ultimate form. The 3 eyes are the same as his second form with the 4 arms. With Phynon gone, though he has continued to delay things and enable us an opportunity, it has also pushed Lygus to a position where he shall engage. He will not observe, he will act. Then, though it's hard to make out because it just goes by so quickly, we see that we are fighting seemingly Lygus in the Vortex of Genesis, with the core flames lit up. We can't fully make them all out, but I think they are all fully lit up. And we're here with Hysolins, and I don't think we can make out anybody else with us. There might be other people, we just can't see them, which is interesting. I'm curious to see what leads to that event, because it doesn't perfectly align with things in the timeline, but also we're already time jumping around, so who knows what's happening. But from here, we begin to show off the 2 new Chrysos heirs we have yet to meet, as well as Dawn Hung and March 7th's new forms. It's hard to make out in this shot all of the details of his outfit and design, just because there's this massive glow and it's a big moving shot. But looking at it, it seems to be almost sort of a blend between his normal form and his full Imbiber Lunae form. He has the dragon, but it is gold rather than the sort of blue that it usually is. And he is wielding his spear still. He has the horns. His outfit is a bit different, a bit more elaborate, but it is more evocative of his normal outfit than the sort of flowing robes of Imbiber Lunae. If I were to guess, I would say that this is what happens when Dong Hung comes into his own, into his power as himself, as Dawn Hung, not just an inheritor of this power. He wields this power, he embraces his identity, but it is his identity. Not Dawn Feng, but Dawn Hung. That is sort of where my brain goes for this. I could be entirely off. This could be something much more tied to, like, some power-up he gets in Amphorius, but I sort of like that idea. Like, in a moment of crisis, in a moment of self-reflection, he embraces and accepts certain things about himself while also defying that he is merely the inheritor of everything that Dawn Feng was, because that sort of feels like where his arc has always been going, being his own person while still acknowledging the sins of his past, quote unquote. And then we get another look at March 7th's new form. This one, I'm much less sure of what is going on, like I was discussing before, but I absolutely love the look. We have these sort of flower-like patterns that she has on her design, but we then also have these sort of weird creatures that are evocative of the same design, which I'm not entirely sure what they are. Either way, though, I'm really vibing with this. I'm incredibly curious to figure out what's going on with her. We then get this brief moment where we show Herta and Screwlum, of course implying that they are here and involving themselves, even if they are not perfectly inside of Amphorius. And then, though it's incredibly fuzzy for whatever reason, we have this shot of all of the core flames being offered up by all of the Chrysos heirs of every generation. And behind them, we have something evocative of the Vortex of Genesis, but uniquely different. This is not a moment that feels particularly real, or at the very least, it feels outside of the normal state of Amphorius, because the timeline does not match up for this. These core flames would not have been gathered when Hyslins and Saridra are still alive. Dawnmaker, the blade that we can see in the corner here, would not have been forged until long after their deaths. So something is going on here. It could be entirely metaphorical, it could be some kind of dream state, it could also, though, be something that is actually happening, but beyond the normal timeline of Amphorius, like I was saying. But then we also have Cyrene, who interestingly enough was not in that previous shot with the circle of the Chrysos heirs. Neither were we. Time was not represented there. But then after Cyrene winks, we get some very quick snapshots of various scenes. The first one is of Saridra with a blade at her throat, her seemingly holding onto the blade. Not in a way trying to stop it, really. More so, it feels like her surrendering herself to the blade, almost. Perhaps accepting her death for some greater purpose. She did say that she would pay any price for the prosperity of Akama and the saving of Amphorius. And due to what we know of the future, we know that intentionally or otherwise, she does pay with her life at some point. Then after a shot of Hyslins, which doesn't really have too much to it, it just has the big whale, we have a much more intriguing shot again of March as we know her, but her body is fragmenting into ice. She is not freezing over anymore, she is breaking apart. Her hair is fragmenting, her arm here is beginning to just shatter, and her other arm is already in pieces. Interestingly enough, she has her camera, which we should realistically have, but visually speaking, this really does sort of imply that whatever transformation she undergoes is a harsh one that fragments who she was into something else. And this is also expressed by the fact that suddenly we can see in the ice reflections around her these weird creatures that we saw next to her before in her other form. Meanwhile, we have an incredibly intriguing shot with Dan Heng, watching as time passes rapidly, vines growing up his spear as he sits stationary. It makes me wonder what his role in the story going forward is, because he was taken out of Amphorius by Screwlum. He didn't stay behind. He was not sent to the past. How does he rejoin with us? Is he somehow forced to wait dozens, hundreds, thousands of years to reunite with us? Time is strange in Amphorius, as we know. It makes me incredibly curious, but I don't really know what else to say to that, other than obviously he is in front of Akama. And then we just have this shot of us, the Trailblazer, with Cyrene interlocking hands, her other hand on our face. It's some kind of reunion. Perhaps this comes at the same time as some revelation of Cyrene's connection to Mem, the fact that we have known each other for so long, despite having not truly met until last version. I could see that, but it of course could be countless other things as well. And though it's hard to make out, it appears that Cyrene is wearing a ring of sorts that is shining. And as everything fades out and we clasp hands more properly, where that shine of that ring was transforms into this translucent glowing puzzle piece. Inevitably, puzzle pieces to me speak to harmony. It's a visual we've seen connected to them for some time, which is interesting because prior to now, remembrance is the thing that has been really focused on in relation to time, in relation to Cyrene. So either this is not meant to evoke the harmony, or something else is going on here, something complex and interesting. But nonetheless, we end up being the ones who hold that puzzle piece. Perhaps it's supposed to mean that Cyrene grants us the final piece of the puzzle that we need to save Amphorius. Phynon gave us the opportunity to put it in place, and Cyrene is the one who hands us the piece. I could see that. It also could be speaking to a further sacrifice from Cyrene. Through some cost to herself, she gives us this opportunity. I'm not entirely sure, but it's going to be something that I sort of hold on to as we go through the story, I think. But from there, we have this very actually intriguing shot where it's us, Cyrene, and the Trailblaze crew, as we remember them, as we know them, in Ides Elysiae. Himiko and Welt are here, Dan Heng is here, as we remember him. March 7th is here as we remember her, and as we change through locations, now where we arrived in Amphorius, where we crashed, where we died, new figures appear, and some are replaced. Black Swan is here in front of us, guiding us forward. The Stellaron hunters are in the back, watching us go towards a destiny of our own that they understand more than we do. It also perhaps is speaking to us leaving behind our past with the Stellaron hunters that we have now forgotten. But particularly interesting as well, March disappears and is replaced by Sunday. But it's interesting because it's not like the two phase in and out perfectly in sync. Sunday appears and then March disappears. Perhaps showing the fact that timeline-wise, Sunday joined us, and shortly after, but not immediately, March is lost to us, being frozen over, entering Amphorius, becoming something else. And as we transition again, we suddenly begin to see those from Amphorius who we have met, other than Cyrene, who evidently was with us this entire time in some way, shape, or form. Perhaps implying that something of Cyrene has been linked to us, tied to us, from the very start. I don't know how, I don't know what that would be specifically, but it does seem to imply that, because she is the only constant throughout this. As we see more of our friends from Amphorius, Welt and Himiko and Dan Heng all fade out, even Sunday. But then Dan Heng returns, in his new transformed version. He disappeared for a time but now returns to us, changed by his journey. And then, as once again, almost everyone phases out, hints of people we know still. Finon appears as we approach, putting a hand on our shoulder, as this new version of March appears as well behind us. Even if she is a danger, even if she in some way is a threat, even if she is not fully herself, she is still here walking behind us. And so as this final team forms, Cyrene, who has been with us the entire way even if we didn't know it, Dan Heng and March changed but still with us. Hysolins and Ceredra having joined us in this back half, Skrullum and Herta aiding from the back, and Finon not able to join us but ushering us forward. This is who we defy the destruction with. This is who we fight against fate with. We charge forward with this team towards this oblivion that is the forming of Iron Tomb, the darkness behind Amphorius. We blend into just pure color, pure energy as we rush towards it to stop it. And all of that coalesces, all of those friends, those allies we have, coalesce in one motive energy that we wield. We are the deliverer now. With the power of all of those who have brought us to this point, we shall deliver the new dawn. Fulfill all of the dreams of those who are with us and those who have fallen and those who have brought us here. And it's as we unleash this power with just this incredible series of impact frames that we come face to face with the monster behind it all. Iron Tomb itself, manifested in front of us. Perhaps not yet complete, but still a danger. Still something that can raise civilizations, destroy solar systems, galaxies even. It may not be complete, it may not yet be unleashed, but even trapped, even incomplete, if awakened, is still a threat that we must defeat. The threat we must defeat. And so as it fights against us, all of our allies come to aid us. And as we're caught in this overwhelming blast of energy, this beam of pure destruction, we're beginning to be pushed back. This outreaching arm of ours is pushed back, but the one who pushes it forward is a version of Cyrene, one who seems different from how we remember her, one who perhaps has awakened more power of her own, with one hand on our own letting us push forward still, and another comforting hand on our chest. She is the one who has been there the entire time, and she is the one who guides us forward. Gives us the final strength we need for that final push. We may be the deliverer, but Cyrene is the core to the salvation of Amphorius. She has awakened, or rather will awaken, something more, with our aid in all likelihood. Something that can withstand and defy Iron Tomb. Perhaps she herself is to become an emanator of the remembrance or of the harmony. And from it, we are enabled to keep charging forward, to try to punch essentially a demigod, a true demigod, a Lord Ravager in the face. And it's interesting because we only get a glimpse of what we are then fighting here. It isn't anything we've seen before. it's winged. It has a design not evocative of Iron Tomb or of Lygus. It is something else, or at least a different version of one of those two things. Perhaps it is the completed form of Iron Tomb. Perhaps we see it completed, but we defy it nonetheless and try to destroy it. Nonetheless, we seem to come to blows with whatever this is. But that is the trailer. I didn't expect to get that into it, but God was it hype, and God did I just want to talk about it. So, with that, though, I'm incredibly excited for the version. I'm incredibly excited for the story. Events, once again, are a little light, but I'm not complaining too much about that, and I'm just incredibly excited. So, feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, and very special thanks to all of my channel members, being Desaize and Pokelove 101 at the normal tier, and Kondo Nano at the cool person tier. I very much appreciate all your support, as always, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye!